Good morning and good afternoon. It could be good evening to you wherever you are today. We thank God for giving us a good and a wonderful day. And today I want us to look at something that is very important to the whole of humanity. I'm going to mention the topic very soon, but this is moments of truth. On Moment of Truth, we look at a pertinent topic that would be of importance to many people in the world, if not everyone. But most importantly, because we are coming from a biblical point of view, I believe that the first group that would find this catchy and interesting would be Christians who are walking or practicing their faith, and others in the church who are still searching, because I think that one of the things you find with humanity is that people are always searching. People are looking for something, they think. And sometimes it can drive people to certain extents that we don't understand. I'm privileged to be joined by someone that I call my spiritual father, Reverend JFK Mensah from Ghana. And I believe that as we get along, you'll get to know him more and much better. And when necessary, I will dip more into his biography and bring things up when it becomes relevant to what we're talking about. So it is afternoon here in Britain, so I would say good afternoon, Reverend JFK.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm not too bad.
What do you mean by that? Is it the weather?
Yeah, the weather is a bit windy today, but at least it's bright. I can see stuff when I look out, so I don't have anything to complain.
Okay.
Right, today my desire is that we discuss love. Love. And I have been privileged to do couples events, either talking to big groups or doing one-to-one discussions, encouragement, exhortation, giving them guidance, answering questions, or actually going to homes where couples feel that there are conflicts or near conflictual situations that they need somebody to intervene. And I want to start by talking about people in church that you and I will call believers who read the Bible. I believe the Bible is the strongest book of love. Yet I meet people who are meant to be reading this Bible or walking in the words and the teachings of Christ, and love is absent. For instance, one of the questions I want to put across today is love as it relates to marriage. I believe marriage is not a boxing club. It's not a boxing ring. So how do people who say they love themselves, who go through all the preparations and all the challenges and go and stand before a priest or go to register in court, end up abusing each other, fighting to the point where sometimes physical stuff is involved? Where went the love?
That's a big question. I personally think there are two big factors.
Okay.
The first one is you can't give what you don't have.
Okay.
Somebody who has not got a reservoir of love will find it difficult to pass on genuine biblical divine love. That's my first.
Okay, I get that.
And the second one is our encounter with Jesus is supposed to give us a new nature. You know, 2 Peter chapter 1 verses 3 and 4 say that his divine love has given us all that pertains to life and godliness.
Okay.
And he has given us exceeding great and precious promises that through them we might become partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption which is in the world through lust.
Okay.
Now, Romans chapter 5 verse 5 adds to that and says that the love of God is poured abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit. So, my scenario is there are people who come from homes that have been loved,
Okay.
and there is love. So they are very secure, they are stable, and when they love somebody, they are able to pass on love they have received from childhood, from family, from their background.
Right.
And therefore, it's not a love that takes advantage
Okay.
of the other spouse.
And they're not afraid to step into love scenarios.
Good.
Because the reason why I'm saying that is I've had discussions with people where they agree that marriage is for love. But at the same time, it sounds like the way they present it, they're afraid that if I give myself too much to this person or make them know that I love them, they may take advantage of me. So I have an understanding of what love is, but I'm afraid to give it because somebody may take it and use it wrongly and end up hurting and abusing me. Almost saying that. So they are scratching the surface of the relationship and they're not ready to give all of it. But as you described, it sounds like somebody who is very stable in love because of their background and their experiences. When they meet people, they are able to be themselves. And they are ready to express that love by giving it to that person without question.
Good. At least from my experience, I seem to come across a lot of Christians who abuse their spouses because they have this reservation that, no, I don't want to be taken for granted.
Okay.
Or I gave myself and my love to this spouse at the beginning of the marriage. She abused it. Now I've withdrawn and I am careful.
Okay.
So we have that too coming up quite a bit when we counsel people.
Okay.
Yes. And that is a little more difficult to resolve until they can both sit down and face the issue squarely and know who blew it and at what point they dropped the ball.
Thank you very much. So if you just join us, we are on Moment of Truth, where we are looking at very salient, topical, important issues that relate to humanity, but most importantly, for those of us who have vowed to follow Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. Because we believe that there's no better book than the Bible. If you are not sure about this, take your time. Don't dismiss my statement, please. Take your time and begin to read the book of John, for instance, and try to focus on the way Jesus Christ is projected as a humanity, as a human person, and try to find out if there's any other person that you can think of or know about in history who can be like that man. That's my first thing. Next time I'll bring out something else about the Bible. And the topic we're looking at is love. Why does it go sour? Love. Why does it go sour? And the scenario I started looking at is the fact that when people are getting married, the presupposition, the idea, the feeling is that we love one another, so we want to live together. So we are not going in as boxing opponents, but we find out that there is not a place where you can find such tension and such conflict in a very truncated, and it's like I'm standing here and you're standing there and I'm not giving in, and it can be over the children, it can be over money, it can be, and I'm telling you, conflict resolution at work and at everywhere seems to go on. You can deal with situations at work, but when it comes to marriage, it's hard. Then I ask myself, did they go into fight? Are they boxing opponents? They're supposed to be lovers. So I'm trying to find out from a man of age, a man of experience, a man who has done it. I mean, he has traveled the world, the nations, different cultures and races, lived in different countries of the world, done missionary work, studied to very high levels, master's degrees of various disciplines, and I believe that his intervention and his engagement with us today, Reverend JFK Mensah from Ghana, will be a blessing. So the first point he's raised up is that if you don't have love yourself and the reservoir, a backup of love, sometimes it's difficult for you to be confident and relaxed to give your love to somebody. All right. And the second point he made was about the fact that Jesus Christ, if you're a believer, has to transform your life. You don't just say, I'm a Christian. Let Christ transform, change you to become like him. Then his nature of love will flow through you. Thank you very much for listening to us. We're going to be back very soon. If you don't hear about us this week, next week certainly we'll come back, because this is going to be ongoing. God bless you for listening to us, and we shall be in touch very soon. Bye.